What does it mean to stand on business? This is something that has been coming up this year, 2023, a lot, especially on TikTok, especially within communities of women. And it's something that's definitely hit home for me because this year, and I know not just me, many of us out there, simply because the year of 2023 is the year of closing chapters, is the year of letting go of certain people that just don't align with you and who you are. So I just wanted to get into it and just like vent about what I feel standing on business is and how I'm going to exude that for the rest of my life. So there are so many ways that me having to stand on business has shown up in my life, and not just with men or romantic relationships, but platonic relationships as well, and in my career. But the idea of standing on business isn't just about a romantic relationship. What standing on business really signifies is you being able to set boundaries and stand on them. And it doesn't matter who we're talking to, who you're setting these boundaries with. It doesn't matter. It could be a job, it could be your employer, it could be your family, it could be your romantic partner, it could be your friends. And this has shown up for me this year, actually in every realm. I've had to stand on business with, of course, number one, romantically, but surprisingly, I've also had to stand on business in my career. And so much so that I actually had to quit a job because of how much my boundaries were being crossed and I was not being respected or valued. And at that point, it's really just up to me to decide, all right, so no one is respecting my boundaries here, and I am continuing to express what it is that I need, and the other party does not want to listen. And now it's up to me to decide if I respect myself enough to go. That's not as easy as it sounds at all, because that also means that you have to now put yourself through this process where you have to grieve certain things, places, people that were a part of your life that defined who you were or what you were doing in your life at a certain point in time. Knowing what your worth is, laying that shit out for the other person, and if they choose not to respect you, then that's when you really have to go. You have to back that shit up with action. You can't just continue going through life saying that certain things matter to you or certain boundaries are important for you, but then when someone disrespects that boundary, you go right back to them, or you stay in those circles that you don't feel safe in. And that's what standing on business is. You lay out the law and people around got to follow, and if they don't follow, you need to remove yourself. So really, it's up to you to respect yourself, and that's how other people understand how to respect you. If you treat yourself very poorly, if you treat yourself in a low vibrational manner, other people will see that and they will say, well, like, I could fuck around with them too. NYC is NYCing out there. I really wanted to touch on this topic of standing on business because I feel like that's been the theme of my year, and it probably is the theme of many other people's year. There is like a whole epidemic on like breakup season. It's been breakup year. Like, people have been breaking up since late 2022, and it has carried on to 2023. And I truly believe that the universe is just out here putting us in alignment, removing certain things from our lives that just don't belong, certain people, certain concepts, beliefs, certain jobs. Just in every aspect, I think that this year is about just purging all that does not belong, all that does not align with who you are. And I feel like I've been somebody who has had to deal with that in so many ways this year. Like, I have had to let go of friends, I've had to let go of jobs, I've had to let go of romantic partners. So much going on. So much. Using your discernment is so important, but really what I want to clarify here is how important it is for you to determine what it is that you like, what you accept in your life, the kind of behavior or energy that you want to be surrounded by, and get so clear on that. Get so clear on what your standards and your boundaries are that when it happens, when someone is attempting to cross your boundaries, you recognize it right away and you're able to put a stop to it. And sometimes you're not able to put a stop to it because life be lifing. And that's okay, babe. That's how we learn. That's how we receive character development. As we continue to level up from character development to character development, because be fucking for real, every year there's something that we need to learn from. It's up to you to receive that knowledge or whatever experience that happened to you in your life and actually apply it into your life so that that doesn't happen to you again. And that's what it really means to stand on business. You see what's going on. This has happened already. You've been disrespected. Someone is crossing your boundaries. You laid the law. You said, I don't appreciate X, Y, and Z. Let's not let this happen again. If they do it again, because it's up to you if you want to give people chances, babe. Whatever it is that you need to do to remove that negativity from your life. Because at the end of the day, like, if you decide to just let someone stay in your life that just continuously disrespects you or undervalues who you are, does not respect your boundaries, then that's on you, babe. Honestly, it's on you, because you're allowing this person to come back. And no one is saying that that's easy, because it absolutely is not. I've seen my ex since we broke up like 3 or 4 times. Every single time that we've gone into contact again, I feel like I've gone 10 steps backwards. And every time that I felt like, oh yeah, I was moving on and I had like 6 months of not contacting this person or just not even thinking about this person, I felt so alive and I felt so connected to the person that I was before I met this person. I would get into contact with this person because, of course, it's not like there isn't love for this person. We love the people that have hurt us. It's just that unfortunately they hurt us, or they did something that we don't respect, or we don't want it to happen to us again. So obviously we need to remove ourselves. In the case that you decide to stay in these spaces that drain you, that make you feel something inside of you that does not feel good, that feeling that comes up when someone is crossing that boundary, that emotion that you may feel in your chest, or that anger that you may feel in your body, right? That heat, that tension that you feel because you literally feel it in your body. Your body literally uses its emotions to communicate with you. And it is up to you to listen to those emotions. When you feel so tense, like you're clenching your fists and you're clenching your jaw, and you feel the tension in your hamstrings, and you feel the arches of your feet climbing up, that's your body literally telling you something is wrong. Something is wrong. What is it? Fix it. You can see what's wrong. Your body can feel what's wrong. It's up to you to listen. But in the case that you decide to go back to this person, this place, this energy that you were supposed to be standing on business on, that's okay if you decide to do that. Because it happens. We're human beings, and sometimes it takes us to go back to our ex, or to go back to that thing that we know is not good for us 10 times, and to feel so disgusted by that person or that place or that concept that we're so disgusted that we can never go back there. To ever even think that we allowed someone like that to come into our space, or for something like that you kind of did have control of. Although you cannot control other people, you can control the people and the energies that come into your space. And when you saw this coming, you chose to stay. Or when this happened, you chose to stay, and so it happened again, and it continued to happen, and it actually grew and it progressed into something much worse. We saw the signs. Every step of the way, our body was telling us that doesn't feel good. Although they said sorry, it won't happen again, it happens again. It's so important that we look at all of these red flags, look at what's really in front of us, what is happening in front of you, and what's actually happening, and not what you're feeling about what happened, or thinking about the potential that they have. No, what actually is happening. And if what actually is happening in front of you right now in this present moment is you being disrespected, or something happening that you just don't agree with, and you've given the person one chance, because I do believe that we all deserve one chance depending on what it is. If that person put their hands on you, no, absolutely motherfucking not. There's no way that they deserve a chance. If they physically are hurting you or doing anything manipulative where you know that they want to hurt you, there's malice intent behind that behavior or that action that they're doing, then obviously they don't deserve another chance. But as human beings, sometimes we do need to be told what boundaries we need to respect. We are all so different, and what you need me to understand about your life, or what you need me to respect, whatever boundaries you have set for your life based on your life experiences. And sometimes you do need to explain to people what your boundaries are, because a lot of the times these boundaries are very specific to who you are and your experiences as a person. And common sense isn't that common. Sometimes it's not common sense. Sometimes it's not common sense that you don't like to be touched in a certain way or by certain people, or that you haven't given them mental permission to like hug you or whatever. They don't know that. So you can get upset after they try to like step into your personal space, although people shouldn't be doing that, period, because that's actually probably a bad example, because that is kind of like something that we should all be doing, is asking for consent before we're trying to jump into other people's spaces. But not everyone feels the same way about it. So sometimes if I'm the type of person that doesn't like to be touched, sometimes I do have to have that difficult conversation with people. And letting people know of a boundary that you have is completely okay. We should not be expecting people to know what they need to do to not cross our boundaries. Sometimes we're not even aware of certain boundaries that we have until someone crosses that boundary. So to play devil's advocate in a way, sometimes it's a good thing to let people cross your boundaries, or to let people fuck around with you a little bit, because that's how you learn about yourself. And when I say let people fuck around with you, I don't mean fuck around with you like let them walk all over you and take advantage of you and let them literally just use you. Your self-awareness is what differentiates you from the rest. Nothing matters if you don't do anything with that awareness. So if you become aware of your boundaries and you don't communicate with other people, that's on you when other people decide to take advantage, or you feel like you're being taken advantage of, but you're not exactly being taken advantage of. It's just that you haven't communicated with people, you haven't told anyone that that's a boundary. Communication is always key. That also means that if you do have a healthy relationship with your communication, or a healthy relationship with someone that you feel safe enough to communicate, where you don't have to stand on business by no contacting or not leaving. You can stand on business by literally just communicating what it is that you need. If you can't do that, if you haven't possessed the maturity to communicate with someone based on what you need or what has bothered you, that's okay, because it takes people time. I encourage you to do the work so that you can get to that place. I know a lot of times communicating may feel very confrontational, and it can feel like it's inducing conflict, but it's actually not. It's actually allowing space for you to not face any conflicts in the future. It's better to communicate and talk about the very difficult things with the people that you love and the people that you want to hold very near and dear in your life, so that that doesn't become an issue later on, and so that you're not also exuding some passive aggressiveness that'll make other people feel uncomfortable and will probably ruin your relationship anyway, when all you had to do was just communicate with people what it was that they were doing, and then you could decide based on their behavior. If they decided to change the behavior, that's perfect, because that person loves you and they want the best for you, and so much so that they're willing to respect you. Just go ahead.